Hello, folks, and welcome back to another after show for episode 6 of the Starcrier conflict. And man, was it an episode! Alright, guys? Quite an episode. I've had a lot of fun prepping for this, even though it could have gone so many different ways. That's just the story of being a GM. But there were a lot of points that I even had mapped out. All right, if this person succeeds this check, then it goes this way. If they decide to push it and then succeed, it goes this way. If they fail, it goes this way. Contingent on if this person does that. I think about things way too much. But I think actually this is one of the games I felt most prepared for. And I actually think this episode went really well, which is strange for me because I usually don't immediately enjoy my own work. Which worries me. So I will ask just once again, did everybody enjoy that episode? I know it was very heavy on certain people. I know we didn't get to see a lot of Blacksmith, and I know we didn't get to see a lot of Bite this episode. I think you both had really good small bits. But just the way the dice and the narrative were flowing, it was definitely a fairly heavy Starblood and Solitaire episode, with a cameo from Twinkle Toes, which I absolutely adored and was not ready for. Q.
You say that, but that was one of the
was
best.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was one of the best moments in the entire episode.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest. I'm perfectly okay with the fact that I didn't do much other than kind of sit in a room and at least I got to karate chop somebody in the neck. I'm okay with that. Not gonna deserve it, all right. But the thing though is that I feel that last episode was very Blacksmith and Solitaire focused. So I am perfectly okay with kind of taking the background this time. Also gave my character a bit of time to kind of cool off because you still went wild last time. So
just a little bit. But it was great.
Not all my fault.
No fault.
No, certainly
fault.
not.
Never fault. No, I agree. I'm always happy to sit back and kind of especially I love watching everybody else perform. I have a great deal of joy in seeing other people go off and do their own thing. And so I'm very content to sit back and be very quiet for episodes and just kind of do my own thing rather than muddy the waters too, because there's no reason to go back to Bite and be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm watching the cameras, making sure nobody gets murdered. That's what I'm doing. So no, I loved this episode. It was fantastic.
Being the support operator in the background. Deckers.
I love meeting the man in the chair.
Yep.
I do want to take a moment and point out though that one of the things that I think is what makes this group so great is that we can have the conversation we just had and have it go the way it does, where it's yeah, listen, we are all comfortable with sitting around and getting to observe everyone else sort of playing out their role and taking their scenes and getting their spotlights. And I really love that. I think that's the hallmark of a really good group. So just flowers to everyone.
So
I will, if I can, really quick, extra flowers though, in my opinion, to Q and Sean. First of all, Q saving people and then escorting them home. Amazing.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Absolutely loved that. You actually mentioned one. That was a really clutch 21 on a risky roll.
Yeah.
We have not had a risky roll go well so far, so I'm so glad. Especially because I know we had the two combat sessions where you couldn't roll above a 4, so this felt like the redemption moment.
Correct.
Also,
because the roll before it was a 4.
I know, right? But then, just extra credit to Sean and Solitaire. I feel like Solitaire's been the most level-headed throughout basically this entire mission. So I feel like that's a good counter to my character, who's been kind of a hothead, and I'm very interested to see what's going to happen when we get back.
Oh,
I
yeah.
will say, I will say, Blacksmith is definitely I shouldn't be in command. I should not be in command. This did not go well.
Well, some fun stuff to talk about in our after-action, in-character after-action report. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, just Q throwing me completely off guard. I love it. I love it.
You're so welcome.
See,
Had me
see,
giggling, kicking
Logan
my
is
feet.
so goddamn smooth.
so I can
So cute.
I can suppress a lot. I've gone through the Star Trek Voyager Tuvok school of keeping your shit together on the tips of your fingers here. You guys might see me do that. But man, just Twinkle Toes out of nowhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Love it.
That was a lot of fun.
Steve has some personal questions he needs to ask himself.
Good.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I just
Dude,
love how that. Oh, good. I love how that whole sequence really showcased who the character is
Mhm.
and where his priorities lie.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely. Because it
It's-
really just reminded him of home,
It's-
and like stuff that he's gone through. Sorry, go ahead.
It's a lot of contrast between what we've seen and heard from actively, at least the loud bits out loud that we have heard from the rest of the group, especially Starblood, who, I mean, you guys didn't really consider the hostages all that much. Kind of just
Nope.
blitz through. Collateral damage is something that's unfortunate, but it's gonna happen. So to see Desperado go out of his way and, you know, calm people down and relate on a personal level, and then even go to the oppressors and try to relate on a personal level to the grunt foot soldiers who are just doing their job. It's a shitty job working for fascists. And they're a collaborator and all of that, but they still are human beings just doing their job, whether you agree
All the while
with them or
doing
not.
that after getting shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
while
right.
being on death's doorstep, right? You're at
Yeah.
1 HP.
I
I
don't
was
think it's
at
that
2. I'm
You're
fine.
at 2. Oh, great.
We're
I was at
good.
9.
Don't even
I do-
worry about it. Yeah.
I do want to
Cool,
take
bud.
half a second to defend Siobhan here, because Shiv last session there was that whole
Oh.
conversation with
Yeah, I was gonna
Shiv
get there. Yeah, shit was
and she was like,
also-
"Wait, no, but like
Mhm.
there are people here," and Starblood
Yeah.
was just like, "Oh fucking well, I guess."
Pretty much.
But-
But
That's what I was
Shiv
referring to,
was straight up like, "No, wait, that's not. We can't do that."
Mhm.
Nipped that
Sorry.
hard
Yeah,
in
I
the
was-
bud.
I was
Yeah.
gonna get there. You know, Shiv was also on Team Desperado, being like, "Nah, fam, we're not
Yeah.
doing it like that."
In a very
Yeah.
different mindset, though, because Siobhan doesn't relate well to people, hasn't ever, and it's a big part of why they are the way they are. So like Desperado getting to be very personable and very on their level, whereas Shiv was like, I'm not willing to sacrifice hostages for whatever you think the bigger image is here, but I can't find it in myself to be soft like that. So I think it was a really interesting outcome, and I'm really glad somebody was able to do it, because I feel like that was really important, especially for this episode. So I'm glad Desperado went out and did that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
See, I tried to talk people down, and then somebody got shot in the head for it. So
Yeah, no, that's fair. That
That's
is
shitty
very
luck
fair.
on your part.
Yeah.
You had to be the opening scene.
Not everyone gets to talk people down. It happens. It's unfortunate, but that's
joke's
how
on
it
you. My next couple of level ups are just going into charm.
Mhm.
I'm gonna finish with like
love that, though.
a +8 or a +10 in charm. That's it.
I love
Nothing
that.
else. Just
So,
talking.
I feel like we're, because I also wanted to take Charm. I hope that's okay. If not, I can always change it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. We're just gonna go from having like no one to like both of us being like,
Mm.
"Hey, let's talk about it first, maybe."
Yeah, no,
But what
it-
it's
literally,
Oh, no, go ahead.
we're gonna get there, but literally, it's just that I think that like with how sideways things went, like
Mhm.
I am definitely having like Alfred is kind of shaken here because he's not used to being in command, and also it just shows that he has a lot to learn. So
I mean, and it
that's
also makes sense. We're mercenaries, like straight out of mercenary school.
yeah.
Like we really just came out of training and into our first mission. Yeah, we're kind of in a mindset, we're not really thinking about, I think, people as much as we probably should.
And the thing is also, like, I was a mercenary before going to the academy too. Like,
Yeah.
and the thing is that it was like one of those, like, we get the job done no matter what. And sometimes it's strike hard, strike fast, care about casualties later kind of thing. So, like, definitely I have a bit more of a skewed mindset than I think than some of you guys do.
Well, if
And-
you ever need some tips on leadership, you know who to
All right,
go
Starblood, shut up.
Shut the hell up.
But Andrew,
Hold on,
definitely
wait,
hold
hold
on
on.
to all of that for
Yeah.
next week, for the after action
Absolutely.
report and
Oh,
for
don't worry.
conversations.
I've already got
afterwards.
this. I've already got this planned.
We still have to talk about it because Mr. Perfect over there was shooking
Oh yeah.
this episode.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Oh yeah.
One
You
of
know, those
my
mirrors cracked a little bit.
One of my favorite things I get to do since deciding to do TTRPG AP entertainment stuff, one of my favorite things I get to do is throw traumatizing shit at Lion.
You know, I wasn't expecting the specific call out there. I thought you were just gonna be like, yeah, for
In
people, I
general.
love doing that to people.
No,
I
you specific,
appreciate-
my friend, because you do it so well.
You do.
I love that.
You know what? I'm just gonna call this as payback for what you did to me on the last stream I was on with you. So you deserve this.
No, that's fine.
Honestly, if my character doesn't walk out of a show either dead or with an anxiety disorder, I did it wrong.
We'll
So-
get there.
so
You're
I
going
would say-
horse.
Skip
This
it.
is a
Yeah.
this is a standing invitation to everyone. If I ever share a table with you, please traumatize the hell out of me. Let's go.
Yes.
I am down for those moments. I live for them. They are
I
where I
love it.
thrive. Love them.
Fantastic.
One of my favorite moments is I won't go super off topic, but like one of my favorite moments is actually Jack at one of your tables when we were playing Lost Eons.
Yeah.
That opening scene, my first scene,
Mhm.
is still
so
one of
good.
my favorite moments in the entirety of my time in the AP space.
Yeah.
It's just
Going
the heaviest trauma we could get.
going down
You know,
that empty
so-
cryo chamber. Ooh.
Oh,
Sometimes
that
those
was-
moments are like the bet, like this for Ironsworn that I'm doing to Roll Nerds with RPGs. First episode, cold open, not even an introduction. The DM, my friend Sin, looks at me and says, "So, tell me how you died."
oh, I love that. I love that so much.
It was the
That's
best opening of
bonkers.
any show I think I've ever. It was like just straight up, like not even hi, welcome to the channel. Like
Nothing.
Mm.
Yep.
you
Tell
did.
me
Tell
how
me
you
how it
died.
happened.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
I love
Ah,
that.
damn.
Yeah,
I'm
it's so
stealing
That's
that.
magical.
I'm stealing that so hard.
Mhm.
Oh, it's so good. Absolutely steal it.
Yeah,
Sin
yeah,
would
you
love
should 100%. It's so I've run a lot of tables throughout my life. Like even before like we were streaming, right? I've thrown that one out a couple of times and I will tell you that it always lands. It's
Mhm.
so good cuz you can't miss on that, right? Like it's so good.
Mm.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving Jack
Yeah.
ideas. Look at his face.
That's good.
No,
take them,
that's-
take them and do and
That's
use
that's me holding back arguing because it has not always gone well for me. But that's a different conversation because we're here to talk about this episode of Starcrier.
Yes.
Unless you guys want to be here until 2 in the morning, which I am happy to do.
I
No,
got work
but,
in the morning. Right.
Yeah, I know. You guys
I have
long
kids.
days. Yep.
Children.
Which is the
I
same
was her
thing.
baby. Oh,
What I
she's
said.
a shrimp.
Yeah, no, this was a nice little way to wrap up. Like seeing different aspects of people, which was very good.
I do. Well,
Yeah.
Since we're on it, and we're probably gonna move on very soon. I do want to take a moment and just go. I was personally tickled at Havoc's immediate reaction when the shit was, for lack of a better term, over after everything had settled, and like it wasn't even like a conscious thought I had. It was just that immediate like, okay, who's actually at fault here? Because it can't be me.
Mm.
Right? It was that immediate. He
Oh,
attacked
boy.
my man. I don't know what you wanted from me, but he attacked my guy. I had to do something. This is your fault. You were the one who brought us here. You should have warned us that he was going to be dangerous. I don't care if he's never been dangerous before. That's on you. That's not on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lion, I will say you very effectively have like sewn in those like mindless little details that I love to
Mhm.
see in actual play, where it's like it's those things that you pick up on where you're like, that's a character choice. Like it could be accidental, but when you know the player's good, you're like, that is a choice. And I love that shit.
And when it informs and has been informed by their previous actions, or just the way that they interact, you're like, oh that's on purpose, and that's some good shit. Yeah, no, him immediately going to the blame game was perfection. I can't believe you make me done this.
Right? I know I just killed a dude, but it's all your fault.
Why would you make me do that?
It's that meme, man.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Also, still, fuck the Commodore forever.
Yep.
I don't care if there is in fact something going on. Still fuck him forever. That's what I'm
100%. Yeah.
God, he just does not know how to actually freaking surrender.
Yeah,
That's
my
the thing
dude
with it.
cannot. What a perfect.
Y'all were being too nice to this bitch.
100%.
Letting him demand shit.
100%. Yeah, and then see, Tavik tried to mention that and was immediately met with "Shut the fuck up, Tavik."
That's because it was Tavik.
Well, no, that's just because Tavik's an asshole. That's because we don't.
Because
Nobody wants
he's
to
just
listen
like,
to
why
Tavik.
the fuck are we entertaining this? Why do we
Right.
care at all what he wants? We have the leverage. Why would we do that?
But did we have
you
the leverage,
Have the
though?
leverage.
Yeah.
I mean, we did.
Yeah.
We definitely did.
No,
Yeah.
I
You
don't. I
had
don't
a
think
little
we
bit
really
of
had that
momentum.
much leverage.
Okay, hear me out. They didn't have communications at that time.
Mm-mm.
You actively had him right
Mhm.
there. Tavik was on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, I mean, okay, like, love you, baby, love you down. Blacksmith might have gotten a little fucked up, but like,
No,
Yeah,
this is
on the
literally
scheme of things, and
as
we
I,
had
as
already
I
told him
said.
to stand down. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, Athen has this mindset of like the thing is, mission is topmost. Like especially now that we're Union, like we're.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're like part Union Navy, kind of not. I know we're disposable, but like literally, it's one of those, like literally when he told Solitaire to get that motherfucker, like he was not kidding. He's gonna take as many of these guards down with him as possible.
Oh yeah.
It's
So-
such a good thing I didn't have my axe. I'm just gonna say they are
Right.
so lucky I left that in my mech.
So my thought process, that whole thing right there, is, yeah, I got him right there. I'm fairly certain I could probably very easily have ended that dude right then and there. Being in those close quarters where I could negate the advantage that pistol gave him. I'm in armor, he's not, etc., etc. Who knows? Maybe he's got some crazy mechanical arms or something hidden under his coat. I don't know. I'm gonna Doc Ock me. But just taking him out, how much does that remove the threat of what is going on the planet and help to release all these people? In my mind, not that much, because I don't know their power structure. Taking him out might not have actually done anything other than just kill one dude. But I
He
figured
could
if
have
we
been a
leave him
figurehead.
alive, we can use
Also,
him.
And, at
And we
most,
were-
martyr him.
We were also under orders to preferably bring him back alive.
Mhm.
Preferably, not definitively.
Yeah.
I mean, as it stands, we still have a long way to go, and if accidentally one of the life support systems in his cryo chamber
Oh
doesn't work,
no!
what a shame for someone, I guess, but not us.
Or someone.
Yeah, I'm sure someone out there
I
would
didn't
feel
do
bad.
it.
I just feel like with this episode, like the real story is now started.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We made
Everything up to this has
we
been
survived the
prologue.
tutorial, everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Episode
We
6.
survived the Dark
done with
Souls
the
tutorial.
Yeah, it was because it was very clearly the prologue, right? Like it's very clear that's exactly what we've been doing.
yeah. Also, it was like very Kingdom Hearts,
Mm.
right?
Pro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like or like the whole first island is just so long, and there's just so much, and then bam, plot.
Yep.
You're like, what the?
Kingdom Hearts
Yep.
2, where it's like 6 hours in, and then you finally saw the
Yes.
opening thing. You're like, "He's
Oh my gosh, yep.
Oh, you thought you were playing Mech of the
Yeah,
Week? No. Sorry,
Mm-mm.
friends.
About that.
Have some trauma.
JK.
We'll be back every week. Yeah. No, honestly, there's so much about this episode I want to talk about. I don't even know where to start, and we're already almost at 11:30. Yeah, so I mean, there's so much I could talk about. I'll probably have to do one of these on my own, or maybe we can set up a time for like an extended behind-the-scenes talk or something. But there was a lot of other stuff in the planet. There were 4 other major NPCs that didn't get screen time, which is fine. Is who knows where you were going to go. I had almost completely written off anybody even thinking about the shantytown. And then Q was like, I'm gonna take these people back to the shantytown. Like, we don't have time for this. I want to wrap this up.
Absolute
this
all-star.
But you know what? I'm very glad that
I'm
we made
very
time
glad
for
yeah.
it. It was
Yeah.
such a good
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a good, just talking moment and
Mhm.
connecting with people that we have not gotten to really have since our first episode, because it has
Yeah.
been almost
Mhm.
pure combat and just trying to break through these defenses.
Yeah. So I think it was great. I hesitated for a moment. I kept setting myself up for it, and then kept telling myself I don't have time for it. Because
Yeah.
the leader of... There was actually a resistance building on Drespel 1 in the shantytown,
Oh,
led by...
Yeah.
led by Razel... what do I call this person? It was Razel Croxby. Yeah, the daughter of one of the founders of this mining site. So Razel Croxby was the leader of the resistance here on Drespel 1, who was in the shantytown. So if you did fly in, land, infiltrate your way in under cover of darkness and confusion, you could have, mounted a resistance force, insurrection, whatever, through Razel. Her father, Mathers Croxby, is in the arcology being held. And then there was his niece, or I don't know how extended families work, but the niece of his wife, Hamida Wakala, from the Wakala side of the family of WAC, who was posing as a collaborator working in the Hawkwood HQ up with everybody up top, but was the informant on the inside.
Nice.
Very Battlestar Galactica occupation
yeah.
of wherever they were. But we didn't get to see any of them, or the Hero Forge miniatures I spent way too many hours making and coloring. But they will
Because
be
we
up
went punch
on
first.
here.
Well, okay, but here's the thing, is that when I am presented with the option of lose the support, and things will probably get harder later, or push through and keep the support.
That was a failure of communication on my part, because you were always supposed to tell the support to stand down. And I don't think that came across. The plan was that you break through the defenses, you make a corkscrew down, you cut off their means of detecting you, and then you land and infiltrate under cover of darkness and confusion, and you let the support forces go off and rally until you are ready to actually start things up. Unfortunately, this was a problem that came because of just how ridiculous episode 2 was with Tech Gremlins and how flustered I was. I think I said it on the after show we did then, or the one just afterwards, that I felt like I really dropped the ball with the mission briefing, because in my mind, the way I had designed this, that was always the case. You were always supposed to tell the support team to stand by, we're going to infiltrate and deal with this. So that's on me.
Oh.
And I've realized that 4 episodes now. So, like I said, no blame at all. There's no fault to throw around. The story has been excellent, and I've enjoyed every second of it the entire time. It's just definitely gone a different way than I planned, largely because of my own problems with communication and just dice rolls. Yeah.
Dice rolls. And I think too, like something I'm learning too, because this is an entirely new system to me, and it's also not a genre that I've dipped into as often. So it's, for me at least, it's I'm learning how to better ask questions of like clarifying questions about like what is happening around, what is possible, what are within limits of what we're doing. Because I'm used to like D&D and stuff and like high fantasy, and so being thrown back into sci-fi after such a long break from it, because I haven't been in sci-fi for a long time, as much as I love it. So like reminding myself of, oh yeah, these are the tropes, these are the things that I can rely on. So asking better questions too. Yeah.
So actually, one of my favorite things, Q, you did this very early. Is there a tarp around? I don't have any notes in there being a tarp around. It doesn't hurt the story if there's no tarp around. Yeah, there's a tarp around. You want a tarp? Do something cool with the tarp. Here you go. Yeah. So anytime you want a scene to include something that you
to have
can
a
use...
cape? Did you
No,
just
okay.
cool? What was happening?
No. So I was making a poncho, so that we're keeping one with the desperado, aesthetic. We love that. We love that. It was also to hide the fact that I was at two structure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was at two
Okay.
structure. Yeah.
You were literally just falling apart. Yeah. I do want to.
You had a whole other structure before you possibly exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I don't need them to see. I don't need them to see any of that. Sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I wanted to say that I do want to point out, and this is flowers to Jack. But I recently have been rewatching the first season of Fantasy High with my partner who hasn't seen it. And there is a scene when they're in a bar and they're getting in a fight and there are like werewolves and vampires. And Emily asks if her character is wearing silver jewelry. And if you watch Brennan, and I love this moment, it's one of my favorite like non-story-ish moments. If you watch Brennan, there's that first moment where he goes, "What? No, why would you?" And then he stops before he says anything because, like you just said, he goes, "Well, why wouldn't you be? There's totally a chance that it would be. Okay, I'll roll the dice for this because why not? It's totally possibly wearing." Yeah, and none of that is vocalized at any point, but just watching it, you can see that moment of, wait, oh yeah, no, of course, why not? And it's the same with the tarp where it's like, well, you didn't prepare for, oh yeah, please. Yeah.
That's the best part about working with people, and this is my flowers to all of you, working with people that you trust with your story and with the narrative. Because I know you guys aren't trying to pull some stupid power gamer, trick the DM. Oh, can I have this? Oh, surprise, I got this, that, and the other thing, and your story's ruined. You guys want something? I'm used to, because I'm from that background of very antagonistic gameplay. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. That could be a problem. And then I go, wait, no, they're going to do something interesting with that. They're giving me a gift. Yes, please take this tarp or this manhole cover or whatever the hell you want to do something cool. So if you want to do something cool and it requires something in the scene, yes, you have it. At the very least, it will be a no, but you can have this instead.
Yes, and a no, but the most powerful tools.
Yep.
Full disclosure, I thought that you were just gonna like cover your mech with a tarp, and then just a gun was gonna stick out and be like, "All right, stick him up."
No idea where it was going. I was like, "What the hell?"
Hands to the sky. Covering it covering it up like a poncho.
It's like that, like the Metal Gear Solid, like you're in the box but with a tarp kind of thing.
Reach for the sky. Yeah, no.
As soon as you're like, "Is there a tarp?" I was like, "Where? Is he gonna like hide with a tarp?" All right.
That's what I thought. I was like, "Is he abandoning me right now? I'm doing something."
It's just Linus with his blankets.
Q. I'm so done with it.
I have played in enough games with Q and watched Q play enough that the moment that a question like that comes up, if I can't think of why immediately, I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be phenomenal."
Yep.
I'm so excited. Every time.
Yep.
Because you do it a lot and it's always gold.
I mean, like it's theater of the mind, so I'm always, and then you have the little, the map, which is helpful, but you don't always see all of the detail.
Yeah.
What can I pick? What would make sense to be around?
Right, yeah, in a place like that, sure.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So there'd be something like that just laying around, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, and
Uh,
then of course, it informs future looks for the next mech.
yeah. Oh no, if Throne can have a magical cape of convenient breezes, you can have a poncho for your mech.
Scarf, not cape. Very
Yes.
important distinction.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Scarf of convenient breezes.
Wow.
But just to keep us a little bit more on task, because I don't want to be here all night. I don't want to keep you guys here all night. There are two things I definitely want to touch on. First, Starblood and the Oracle.
Yeah.
How is that?
No.
What I know you might have a little bit more than everybody else does, but you certainly don't have a full picture.
No, I mean that was an adventure. That was so for me. Because I'll talk about for me, and then I'll also talk about for Starblood. But for me, I mean, we talked a little bit about it before, right? If you give me an opportunity for a traumatic moment to exist, I will leap in head first, both arms out and open. I loved it. I loved every moment of it. I loved specifically getting the opportunity to have Starblood, who, thanks to the dice, for the most part, has looked very much like he walks the walk. Has been very effective and very efficient and very good at the things he says he's good at, up until this point. But in this moment, there was that immediate twitchy response from someone who, his whole life has been trained as a soldier and his whole life has been prepped for things like this and other stuff we'll get into through the course of gameplay, because I don't want to spill all the beans right now. But I deeply appreciated that opportunity and I loved it, and every moment was just like, please just keep doing this.
I'm very glad that it actually worked out you were there, because in my notes I didn't expect you to be there. Because
Interesting.
I didn't expect Solitaire to hold on, I'm not the guy to talk to here. You got to talk to my boss. I thought it was going to be Solitaire, the Commodore, and the Oracle in that room, and it would have been a different conversation. Similar, but different.
Oh, I'm sorry. I half expected Solitaire to ask Desperado to go in, and then have it kind of elbow his way in. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I will say, just for that part, I mean, we gotta witness Starblood get traumatized, so I'm here for it.
Yeah. No, I love that you took it that way. That you
actually. Oh yeah, actually, technically, no one got to see that because the only person there was Solitaire. And he was like,
but the thing is, we know.
No, yeah, 100%.
You know.
You're gonna feel the vibe.
I don't know. Hearing that through open comms, all of that,
Yes.
and probably coming through
That's
your
true.
helmet, hearing the heavy breathing and the gasping.
Full disclosure, I was this close to trying to make it out that room again.
Oh.
I was actually totally expecting that.
After the sounds, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was stunned when you weren't just immediately okay.
My initial plan was to try being like, hey, I think your boss is getting fucked up. We should go check on him, kind of thing.
If we weren't so pressed for time, I would have cut back to you, because I think that would have been a really cool moment, and especially presented that way. And I was thinking you were going to go that way, or at least that they could spin it in that way. That definitely would have given you a moment out of the room, and again, to kind of almost be on the same playing ground, same level as, well, these jackboots, basically.
Yeah.
But
I'm just glad I was able to at
unfortunately-
least reach out to the rest of the team.
Yeah.
And just to quickly, because I said I also would like to answer it from Tavik's perspective, if that's okay. Very quickly. I don't want to keep us here. Horrifying. I mean, to start with, right? It's already like the setting is awful. He doesn't want to be here. It's immediately went from, oh look, the person in the squad gave me enough respect to acknowledge where I am and where my positioning is, to now I'm stepping in shit. Great. and then immediately be, we did episode 1, right? And Tavik starts with the nightmare. So there's already these moments and these things. So then you get into this, and all we've talked about is something fucked up is going on. All the vagaries you could possibly ask for from the beginning of a narrative. And then the guy shows up who's clearly not okay and is just like more vague, scary shit, and you. And it's perfect for. He was horrified. How do you handle that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's been trained for combat, and he's been trained for leadership, and he's been trained for all being an ace pilot. But he has not been trained for whatever the fuck that was.
So it's very interesting that you went, you. I'll have to go back and check the replay. I don't believe the Oracle ever said you.
I think there was one moment where he he's like he goes it's you or you see or something like that. I think
He said a lot of spooky shit,
Yeah,
to be
he
fair.
did.
He said a
So
lot
yeah,
of
I could be
spooky
remembering
shit.
it wrong.
Yeah,
Well,
like
I
the
think
tentacles
was,
coming
yeah.
out of him, like
And it doesn't necessarily mean that he actually meant Tavik,
Yeah.
but for Tavik, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love
Well,
that
yeah.
you took it that way.
The moments you used blood and star within the same, like, 2 sentences,
Oh,
I
I've been
was like,
holding on
"Fuck." Yeah, no, our player
Yeah.
chat, for the audience's sake, our player chat popped off as this was happening. It was wild.
I had that line in my notebook for months.
Good. I heard it and I
So
went,
good,
no.
I am very glad it landed that well then.
Oh, it did.
But
So much nope the fuck no.
I love that. I looked in the chat. Just so much nope.
So much no.
But
Wait.
quick transition from that to the other side of the room. Solitaire. Did you enjoy your Commander Shepard vision? How'd you take
100%.
that?
It was amazing. I loved it. Just that instant upload. Like, oh god, yeah, there was a lot there. I don't know what to make of it. It's like
Yep.
these disjointed images and sensations, and yeah, he's really going to be trying to figure this one out. That is going to haunt his thoughts. Like, I can absolutely see him in the future. Instead of doing these things that he normally does, these projects and tinkering and all this kind of stuff, he's going to be trying to figure this out. Like, it's a puzzle. It's going to be a puzzle to him, because that's the way he thinks. This very logical person.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be trying to logic this out
And then
try
you
to
just got
connect the
this
dots.
nonsense direct flash uploaded to your brain.
Right? It's like there's has to be something to it. There has to be context.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he's going to be like obsessed trying to figure that out.
Do you have any off the cuff, just right now, crazy wild theories? Or is it just overload for Sean and Solitaire?
I mean, for me, I got some weird ideas about biological warships and stuff, but who knows? I've seen a lot of anime.
As long as it's not the Yuzan Vong, and anyone who gets that reference gets it.
No Yuzan Vong.
I know
You
Yuzan
do not
Vong.
want the Yuzan Vong.
No.
No.
Did I be scared?
Got some expanded galaxy stuff going on there. Yeah, but no, other than that, not really. It's a chaotic, abstract collage of disturbing images.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I will say, I do have one quick theory. If, like, probably like a few levels from now, we're gonna be in like a populated area, then all of a sudden Solitaire's gonna have a compulsion to go up to a store and be like, "I'm Solitaire. This is my favorite store on the Citadel."
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah. There was a follow up to that I wanted to ask, and I got myself distracted. I don't know anymore because there's just so much going on right now. Huh. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I'll think about it as soon as I stop the recording here. But yeah, I'm glad that landed the way it did. I think we have a lot of fun stuff coming up. And I'm very excited to see how this changes some of your characters and the conversations you have with each other during this downtime. Because I know you had some of your own things you wanted to work on. We're going to touch on your license levels. But I think something really serious just happened right now. And only... Well, really, you guys experienced those things individually. Even though you were in the same room with each other, you really didn't have cognition about what anyone else had going on. So you are
a lot of information to share.
I will say that one single scene has completely shifted what I did have planned for the downtime, because there was something I was planning with Tavik that is now contextually completely
that's so exciting.
Has to change.
Interesting.
Like that whole conversation that I was thinking about having in my head is no longer valid. Or at least, I mean, it's valid. It's just overshadowed.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, we might have to touch on that whenever it comes up. Once we get past that. Interesting. It's a good question too. I should have wrote it down. Oh well. No, I'll think about it later. I'll write it down. We can ask about it sometime else. Yeah, wrapping up here, though, because it is late. Do you guys have anything you want to... we should talk about commendations, but we can do that off camera or before or after the next session. Are there any questions you have for me, for each other? Wild theories, things you just want to point out?
Not a question, just a statement. I'm scared.
Good.
For
Amazing.
a number of different reasons. The most important one for me, technically, personally, we've got another 7 years, so it's gonna be 14 years, and I don't know what is happening with my certain someone on the other side of that. So I am afeared. I'm afraid.
And we're with some guy that's haunted, space haunted.
Right, space haunted is the worst kind of haunted. Look at
To get traumatized.
Look at the zoned out eyes. Look at the expression.
What about
What's wrong? Nobody's
Things
home.
and stuff. I've seen things.
You've seen the heat death of the universe right there. Here's Earth.
Oh, how the stars bleed for thee.
Yikes.
Sea beams glittering off the Tannhauser Gate.
All right. Well, see you in 7 years.
Yeah, I suppose so.
7 years.
You guys aren't as inquisitive as some of my other groups.
No,
I think you know.
I
I'm
don't
just not
even
going to
know
tell you
what to
anything.
ask at this point. Yeah,
Right.
I just know.
Listen, we're all processing, you know what I mean? We're still
that's
trying
great.
to figure it out ourselves.
Yeah, this was a lot.
This was a lot.
Yeah.
This was a
And I
lot.
want to see things happen like I don't want to spoil myself.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
accidentally or something like that.
I
how it
will admit,
unfolds.
I take a perverse pleasure asking if you guys have questions, knowing that my answer will be, I don't know, man. Let's find out.
See, we're not falling for your trap.
Fine. That's a good question. We'll
Ask
answer
your
it in the story.
questions, but I'm not going to answer
Yep.
them.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. You guys know better.
Boy, find out in
Alright.
game, my guy.
I've been at your table too many times now, Jack. I'm
Yep.
not walking into it.
Yep. That's what I get for working with people. All right. Awesome. No, we got a lot of great stuff coming up. I am very excited for this downtime. We can talk more off camera about what that means, but I am looking forward to some actual downtime coming off of this mission before we get into the next one. So we'll talk about how long that is in game and what you may be able to get up to. But definitely think about your own ideas for conversations, projects, bonding experiences you might have with each other and or with NPCs, coming up with new NPCs. I am all about an evolving world. So anytime you need anything new in your backstory, sure, it's always been there. I mean, that's how fiction is constantly written. You know, you could be 3 seasons into a show and I didn't know you had a brother. Yep, I always had a brother. He's been right there. So I'm all for that. Yeah.
Reminds me of something I did once as a DM in a game. We'll talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
Yeah. So presumably next week we will pick up 7 years in the future with the after action of this mission, and I'm excited for it.
Just remember, one of us has to. We gotta draw straws, so one of us knows who's turning off the life support. That's all.
You guys are all asleep. All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for supporting on Ko-Fi. I'm hoping to be able to get some goodies up fairly quickly. I have lots of notes here, folks. I have lots of notes, and hopefully I can drop them without too many redactions. We'll see. I'm hoping to drop some good stuff. If I can't just completely digitize these, I'll do a write-up. If I have to do a write-up, it might take me a little longer. But I definitely want to share my side of the screen with you guys who are supporting from a GM side of things, because I love watching these actual play shows in various different channels, and I'm always wondering, oh man, where did they get the inspiration for this? Or I know that's not how they wanted things to go. What did they have planned? Because I can see that in some of the GMs I watch. I'm like, that's that look. They're doing some shit.
Right.
All right. So I hope to have some good stuff for you soon. Thank you so much for your support. We'll hope to keep seeing you every week for us live, and do tell people about the VODs and the pods, the VODs and the pods. I can say that now, which is great. I am really looking forward to dreading, but also looking forward to doing the sound design for this particular episode, because I think it's gonna be so good.
Be nasty.
All right, that's enough. Time for us to get some drinks and or some sleep and unwind.
For sure.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, cast members, sincerely. This has been so fun and such a great episode. Good night and happy time zone, folks. Catch you later.
Love you.
Bye-bye.